Hi, Doug Burt from Doug Burt's Tackle World here for the Offshore Fishing Report for this weekend, the 19th and 20th of June 2021. Okay, guys, it's not very good weather, as you probably saw and can see. The weather this weekend is going to be blowing a lot of west in it and going around to the south later as the day goes on each day. So Saturday, Sunday, Monday. There is a bit of a gap sort of on Wednesday afternoon, Thursday morning early, before it comes in windy again. So yesterday, the weekend looks not too bad for next weekend, but it's sort of changing already again. So hopefully it'll get better, but I don't know. See how it goes. But anyhow, we'll talk about what happened offshore this week though. So we had some really good weather. Monday, or Saturday, Sunday was not too bad last weekend, and Monday I went out myself out to the 50 Fathom Reef northeast of Seaway. We smashed the pearl perch, had a great time, and then the fishing continued. Oh, sorry, I went Tuesday. Sorry, no, Monday. Sorry, Tuesday was a storm, the unforecasted storm that blew 30 knots and people nearly died. But anyhow, it wasn't meant to happen. It was supposed to be 10-knot variable all day, and no mention of a thunderstorm. But anyhow, that did happen. So Monday we did really well. Got a heap of pearl perch. We got some really nice snapper up to around 80 centimetres, and it was just fantastic. The current was raging out wide. We went out wide for a deep drop. Got a couple of fish out there, but the current drove us back in closer again. So out wide, I'm talking like sort of 300 metres deep. But along the 50 fathom line, it was only running at about a knot, which is classed as very good fish current to fish. And some people might say it's a bit fast, but it's not. It's perfect. And that's what you need. But the fishing back in close here was really good. Sunday morning we went out and we did really well. Just had a quick fish just on sunrise. We got a nice dewy around sort of 14 kilos and meter 18 I think it was. And then there's a few others caught, and actually one of our good mates, Mick Horn, who now works for a parlour, was testing these new cans, they're called. They're like a Tibura jig, sort of a like a Lacanis type jig, and they got some nice dew on these actually. So he was using, I think, around 100 grams or 80 grams, and only fishing around about sort of 25 metres deep, but they work really well. And they got two dew, him and Mel, and good to see that you can catch them on that sort of jig as well in the shallow water. That was during the day, like sort of 7-8 o'clock in the morning. So there's plenty of dewies around. We had a lot of customers got dewies fishing for snapper over the weekend and earlier this week. Some really good sized fish too. Some of them up around about 20 kilos. So great fishing. It's all on the close reefs, folks. So fishing in that sort of 25 to 40 metre depth, anywhere from east of Seaway down to sort of off sort of even down to Tweed actually, but down off sort of surface area. So cobia, so a few cobia caught as well. The cobia got a bit smaller recently, not the big ones that were around about a month ago, but they're still around that 10 kilo size or a bit more. So cobia, dewies and snapper in on the close reefs. The current on the close reefs is still just about void. There's not much at all. Just the problem is this weekend's the wind. So if I was you guys this weekend, you probably might be able to get out really early with a bit of west sea blowing and fish really close for a snapper before the wind gets just too strong. But just be careful. The swell at this stage is in close, they're saying it's around a metre and a half. But wider, it's obviously horrid. So don't go wide, whatever you do. But I'd be maybe looking at maybe casting back into the surf with something like a Zeppelin or Xeric Zeppelin, or we have many other sort of stick bait type things or poppers that you can cast from the boat back into the gutters and rip it out, and you'll catch some really decent tailor, like up to maybe 3 or 4 kilos. Anywhere along Stratty, obviously not in the green zones though, and on the Spit, around Narrowneck there, around the Scottish Prince, all that sort of area is quite fishable. There's not too much swell and in a westerly wind, because once you get out too far it just gets too rough. Okay, so next weekend, if you get the chance to go out, I would definitely be hunting down the snapper in on the close reefs at first light. Now the prime time is obviously got not too much swell, is to try and go out and seaway during the dark if it's not too bad. And you want to be sort of on your spot around 5:45, and the best times between about 10 to 6 and about 20 past 6, which is when the sun just does get a little bit of light, and then it sort of pokes its head out, and then by about 20 past 6 it's sort of all over. Still get fish though, don't get me wrong, but that's the best time. Other thing I'll be chasing this week later, if the weather allows us to, is jewfish. They've got the full moon coming up. Full moon in July is like a really good jewfish month, and those big jewies, which we already know are everywhere at the moment on the local close reefs, will be out there in force. And remember, your bag limit's only 2 per person, so don't go crazy on it. They're big fish. There's a lot of meat on one fish to feed an army, so you don't need to catch many jewfish. So yeah, go out there and have a crack of those late afternoon. Again, prime time, you want to get your live bait and be ready to sit on your spot or whatever you can do by around about 5 o'clock. By about 10 past 5 and the sun's setting, it's really starting to happen, and then by about 5:30 it's in full swing, and generally by about 6:37 they're starting to taper off. So that's how it sort of works for the jewies. Snapper, same deal, exactly same time, okay? In on the close reefs at night time. Out further this weekend, next weekend coming, obviously pearl perch are everywhere. We did really well on the pearlies on last Monday. We bagged out really quick. Some good fish up to nearly 60 centimetres. Quite a few probably around that 60 centimetre mark. And a lot of them caught on jigs like the Lacanis type jigs and slow pitch type jigging with around about 120 to 200 gram jigs. Okay, we're fishing in about 100 metres of water. There's pearlies on the 36s. There's been some big ones even in close, just random big pearl perch. They're everywhere. Please do remember we've got a closure coming up on the 15th of next month of July, so you've got a few weeks left to get out there and get a feed before it closes up for a month, and then during that time obviously we go jigging for kingies and stuff like that. Anyhow, if you get a chance to get out of the weekend, please be careful of those westerly winds, especially don't go out too far. And when it goes around to the south, you want to be back in and home before it gets too rough, because it will get rough once it goes around a bit more south in the wind as the day goes on. Just be careful of swell too, please. Anyhow, good luck on the weekend, and catch you next week. Thank you. Bye-bye.